This is Kirsten Zaki, and this is my presentation for AEP 855, Educational Leadership. The first part of this assignment was to find two articles or videos, and the first video that I found, I think it does a wonderful job of discussing why effective leadership should overpower diversity. It discusses how we all have different perspectives, and when we collaborate, it should be for the betterment of the organization. And here is that video.
Every day, we work together to tackle challenges and provide the best solutions for our clients. Our success in differentiating ourselves from our competition depends on our ability to recognize and make the most of everyone's unique skills and perspectives. We all view the world differently and interpret situations from our own frame of reference. Considering alternative perspectives allows us to view solutions from different angles. Things that appear obvious to some people might lose their meaning with others. Taking other people's needs into consideration and challenging our own assumptions reveals new possibilities. When individual strengths are overlooked, it can result in people thinking and acting the same way. This limits our potential to be successful. When teams work in isolation, they don't use the collective strength of the organization. Sharing knowledge across business and geographies improves results. When a team doesn't use all the skills and experience available, their results can suffer. Inclusive leadership is about providing opportunities for everyone to contribute. We work with a unique mix of people. When each of us embraces different perspectives, our potential for success has no limits.
So how are we going to do this?
I've just had a great idea.
So again, I really like that video. I like that it focuses on diversity should be looked at as a strength to a business and not as a detriment. We should definitely use the differences we have to make the organization better. The second video I chose explains that we need to be aware of our own assumptions and bias and how those behaviors might impact others. An inclusive leader also works well with their team to apply policies effectively and fairly. And here is that video.
One of the activities that we undertake when we're running our inclusive leadership programs is an inclusive leader self-assessment, and we've identified, using research globally, some key characteristics of a consciously inclusive leader. I think the first is around being very self-aware, aware of their assumptions and biases, particularly relating to race, gender and age, also aware of how their behaviour might impact others. An inclusive leader also typically really works hard with their team to apply policies openly and fairly, to seek diverse perspectives, to demonstrate respect for the views of others. They also tend to be champions of diversity. An inclusive leader can articulate the business benefits of diversity, why this is important, and can help others to understand those business benefits. I guess most importantly, an inclusive leader demonstrates a lot of respect for their team, for the broader organisation.
So from this video, I really like that it says an inclusive leader is a champion of diversity. Again, that is the whole goal for an organization, is to be better. So I think that's a really important key there. The second part is to integrate diversity and inclusion leadership of diversity into the coursework. These two videos made it clear that all the components from Kouzes and Posner leadership module must work together for an effective leader to emerge. By making a conscious decision to follow the 5 steps, model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and finally encourage the heart, we are more likely to be inclusive leaders. When we take time to realize the important thing is to achieve goals and not to worry about who is helping, but that the job that they are capable of doing, we are all better off in the end. Inclusive leadership is the practice of leadership that carefully includes the contributions of all stakeholders in the school community. Inclusions means being at the table at all levels of the organization, being a valued contributor, and being fully responsible for your contribution to the ultimate result. Inclusive leadership creates an organizational culture that consistently produces results that benefit all of the stakeholders. We further define leadership as a functional practice required of all stakeholders, where individuals are fully responsible for their contribution, internally committed to assessment and growth, and outwardly committed to a culture that invests in the same growth for everyone. Best practices for inclusive leadership development shows that an ongoing effort incorporating learning, actions, and feedback as each organization discovers new ways to support the development of board, staff, and program participants to become inclusive leaders actively participating in inclusive organizations. At the core of an inclusive leader with a well-articulated personal leadership philosophy who is competent in key areas including cultural competence and social thinking, inclusive organizational leaders are deliberate in their practice of enabling others to act and develop organizations with a structure to consistently expand their mission and produce effective results. Inclusive organizations begin and end with inclusive leadership. Part 3 is challenges of being an inclusive leader. There can be several challenges that an inclusive leader faces. The first is managing meaning. Tough decisions must be made in ways that support people to be a part of the solution. It would be leadership of exclusion to make decisions that are not consistent with the core meaning and purpose of all the people involved. The second is managing emotional well-being. Inclusive leadership occurs when we hold compassion for others and then let go of the emotion. It is our responsibility to set the condition for emotional strength in the face of change. It would be leadership of exclusion to demonstrate fearful and hateful leadership in response to the surrounding chaos. The third is managing differing opinions. Inclusive leadership occurs when we work in ways that include views that are diverse from our own. It takes dialogue to make sure that we are solving the right problems. It would be leadership of exclusion to move into command and control approaches that ultimately create more dependence and learned helplessness in every aspect of our school community. The fourth is managing attitudes. Inclusive leadership occurs when we host conversations that stay focused on the resources around us. In particular, how do we ensure that communities see people with differing abilities as assets to solving problems that face us all? It would be leadership of exclusion to frame the people who use our services as consuming resources rather than as contributors to our community solutions. The final challenge is managing intellectual stimulation. Inclusive leadership occurs when we create an environment where staff want to learn something new every day. If staff are stimulated intellectually, they will retain curiosity and possibility in difficult situations. It would be the leadership of exclusion to stifle a person's potential to be all he or she can be. And these are my list of resources. Thanks for watching.